Hi, we're on the way to Sanishwar Temple in Tirunallar. Saturn or Shani is the most feared of all the planets because Shani is in charge of karma and consequences for the actions you made earlier. He holds you up for it, and Shani stands for longevity, for karma, for poverty, for loss, for struggle, and therefore he is rightly feared and also respected and propitiated. People come here to lessen the effect of Shani in their life. The famous Sade Sati, as it's known, 7.5 years of struggle, misfortune, loss, is an act from Saturn. This temple was built in the 8th century by the early Cholas, which is a little different from most of the other ones in the Navagraha group. The place Tirunallar comes from the earlier name Dharbaranyam, where the word Dharbaranyam itself means the forest where the sacred Dharba grass grows. Dharba is still used in sacred occasions as a sacred form of grass. It is different from the usual grass. But this place, this vicinity, must once have been a forest of Dharba grass. Of course, it's all, as you can see, brick and mortar buildings, and modern life has taken over. Even though it is still a village, there is concretized roads and all that. It is doubtful that anything like Dharba grass grows in profusion here at all. But that was the origin of the word Dharbaranyam. Tirunallar, as the same place is also known today, is a variation of that same thought. It says a holy place of a holy prosperous forest, Tirunallar. Now, as we have seen in the other Navagraha temples, the grahas themselves are secondary forces. No matter how powerful a force each one is, the main force is always Shiva or Vishnu. And in our case, for these temples in and around Kumbakonam, the main force is Shiva. Therefore, these 9 Navagraha Sthalams that we are visiting are all Shaivite temples. At Tirunallar, Shiva is known as Dharbaranyeswarar, the lord of the forest of the Dharba grass. This impressive temple also has a couple of tanks, the Nala tank and the Brahma tank. After the Vaidishwaran Koil, which is for Angaraka or Mars, the Sanishwar temple at Tirunallar is the most visited among the Navagraha. It's very popular, and people come here to make up for the things that they may have or have not done, and to seek the blessings for a mitigation of the Saturn effect on their lives. There are a lot of flowers and other items on sale, and we can see for the first time the Fve-tiered Gopuram right on top, and the main entrance below the temple tower. The Gopuram is quite big. The temple seems to have a certain stature from its very construction, as you can tell. So passing under the Gopuram is the flagstaff. Seems to be some golden pillars here. This is the outer corridor. We just went inside. We saw the Dharbaranyeswarar shrine. So we got a good darshan of Shiva inside. And there was also the Sanishwar shrine towards the entrance of the outer corridor. There was not much of a crowd. There seems to be a mandap in the far corner behind the temple. These pathways behind these cages would be extremely crowded on festive days. The main festival for this temple is on the day of Sani Peyarchi, when Saturn, as an astronomical phenomenon, moves against the fixed background of stars from one zodiac sign to the next. That is supposed to initiate a change in fortunes for everyone, and that day, when that happens, is known as Sani Peyarchi. Much like Jupiter at Alangudi, they have a Guru Peyarchi day when Jupiter moves from one zodiac sign to the next. Shani Bhagwan is the most powerful in terms of the planetary influences on us humans, it is believed. Here he has his own shrine. He is also in black stone form. He has 4 arms. He has his Vahana, the vulture. He is supposed to be a very strict, unforgiving, keeping tab kind of a planetary god. And for good reason, because that is his role, to hold you accountable for your deeds and actions. Although the kind of view is that He may be strict, he may extract his price, but in the end, he's merciful because he gives you a chance to redeem. Even with the 7.5 years of misfortune that you're supposed to go through due to the Saturn influence in your life, if you went through that stoically, it is said that you come out stronger and more peaceful. Shani Bhagwan, he has his own shrine, of course. This is his temple in a way. And the unique thing is, he is not deep inside the inner sanctum meant for him. He's at the doorway, which means he's basically on guard at the threshold because he is the gatekeeper of Dharma. He's the gatekeeper of promises made. The inner Prakaram, the lot of idols. These paintings are of recent origin, no doubt. We are behind the temple. There are a lot of Nandis at the back. This is a big temple among the Navagraha Sthalams. This looks very old in black granite. The idol has been removed, it looks like. Not sure what this might have been. This is the Dharba grass after which this place is named. This Dharba is to this day used in Vedic rituals and so on. Dharbaranyeswarar is named after this Dharba. We are in the inner Prahara, just outside the inner sanctum. Here is the temple well. This is Chandikeshwarar. There are a lot of shrines all around the two corridors. Since Shani's main color is black, you're supposed to offer black till, sesame oil, and a black cloth. He himself has been carved out of black granite with his 4 arms, and he looks pretty forbidding, deliberately so. A lot of the original paintings of the history of the temple are all on the ceiling. Difficult to see. It's a surprise that it is even there after 1,000 years or more. There are no explanations. We are supposed to understand through the drawings themselves. But it has to do with the origins of the temple. That much is clear. And it is possible that Nala's story has been scripted here somewhere, although it's difficult to know where exactly. This temple's main legend involves Nala Damayanti, mainly King Nala. Nala was the perfect man in many ways, in his skills, in his character, in his observance of his duties and so on. For a person of that time, he was considered perfect. So much so that when Damayanti decided to have a swayamvar, a choosing of a suitor of her choice, she chose Nala among varied suitors. This infuriated Shani because she chose Nala over him. So he was looking for his chance to avenge this defeat, so to speak, and he waited patiently for 12 years, hoping that Nala would make a mistake in his ritual observances. And sure enough, after 12 years, Nala made his evening sandhya, which is a combination of ritual and a prayer at evening time, by not washing his foot. That was enough for Shani to get inside him and cause him to play a dangerous game of dice with his own brother. He lost his entire fortune, his wealth. He also lost his beautiful wife, Damayanti. And to top it all, he was also cursed by a serpent to lose height and become a dwarf. So it is meant to be a sort of a moral warning that even the perfect of people, Shani, can come after for one slip or a mistake. But the merciful thing is that the story doesn't end there. The wise sage Bharadwaja told Nala to come here to the Tirunallar Temple of Shiva, Dharbaranyeswarar, and also take the blessings of Shiva by bathing in the holy tank, which is actually across the row. It is not within the premises of the main temple. It seems to be a little away. And I asked the priest and he said there were 8 tanks, not just one here. And this Nala tank, now named after Nala, at that time it was just a tank in Shiva's temple. So he took a bath there, prayed to Shiva, and the curse of Saturn was finally lifted. He regained all his wealth and good fortune. He got back Damayanti and regained his regular human form. So it ends well, the story of Nala. So which means as much as the strict and pound of flesh demanding Shani, serious, austere, and punishing, he is also merciful. While the devout are not spared, they are also forgiven. As long as you go through your dues in a proper manner, you will be saved in the end. we are coming out of this impressive Shani temple. So that was our visit to the Shani Bhagwan temple. Town itself seems to be a little bigger and not exactly a small village. There are proper shops and a main road and buses plying and auto rickshaws going around. So this seems to be a bigger town than the ones that we have seen so far. The one thing that we didn't see here is the Nala Tirtha, the temple tank at which Nala got his relief. And it is a very active tank in the sense that people come today, as they have for the last so many years, to find relief. They come here, have an oil bath with a dip in the tank. They dress in black and then they offer their prayers to Shani Bhagwan as well as Shiva. Secondly, as the story of Nala illustrates, for all the misfortune that befell him, in the end, Shiva and Saturn did provide the relief from his misery, and therefore he got back everything that he had lost. So there is that redeeming nature to Shani, and that is why people still come. If he was merely the extractor of punishments and so on, then perhaps not many devotees would come here. But they know that if you propitiate him, if you worship him, if you approach him the right way, you will get relief. We couldn't see the Nala tank because the Nala tank isn't part of the temple as it exists now. And the priest there said that the tank is a little far away near some police station somewhere, I don't know where exactly. And you could see the tanks, including the Brahma tank, which legend has was created by Brahma himself. Except since the light is failing now, we are a little tired having walked through all the circuits inside, and therefore to go around looking for a tank in fading light is not exactly the kind of thing that we should be doing, I think. In fact, frankly, we should be having a cup of coffee right now.